Fly, Eagles, Fly. This is Platinum Eagle Podcast, and I'm your host, Platinum Eagle. Let's get into this video real quick. I want to talk about a few things. First, I want to get into training camp and the interviews from training camp, what I deducted and everything from what I saw from the coaches and players alike. So, Moro Ojomo is the first guy I want to talk about. I'm very, very optimistic in his career with the Philadelphia Eagles. He sat and waited very patiently. Now he's going to get his chance to, pretty much take what Milton Williams left behind, going to the Patriots and all. So Moro Ojomo, he's definitely good at getting at the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? He don't get to him all the time, but he get after the quarterback. The quarterback is, throwing out a rhythm and what have you. I think this year, with a little more snaps that he should get, I think that he will certainly be a more impact player than he has been. Of course, he was in a rotation. They're always going to be in a rotation, but he was not the first, a starter, of course. So he's not even, I don't think it was the second guy. He might have been the second guy last season, but I don't even think it was the second guy. I think it was Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, and then him. So anyway, I think from what I heard, of course, it's all talking sheep and all that stuff. You want to see results at the end of the day, But I mean, these guys have showed me before that they are about that life of being a football player at a high level. Moro Ojomo don't really say much. He puts his head down and work from what I've seen and what I see also, on the side of everything, on the outside looking in. But he's a guy that, again, I think that can, with a little more snaps under his belt, I think he's already in good condition. Of course, we have to see everything that's going to translate on the field. But from what I see right now and what I saw in the past, last season and even the season before last, I think this guy here is going to be an impact player. His pressure amount on a quarterback is something that we definitely is going to have to, take in consideration. And I also know that he gets at the quarterback, when he gets enough opportunity. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Moro Ojomo, defensive tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles, will do, being perhaps maybe number 2 behind Jordan Davis in the rotations. But yeah, I think Moro Ojomo's presence on the field is definitely going to be something that you want to keep an eye out for this season. I think that he's going to be primed to do some big things with the Philadelphia Eagles. Year 2 under Vic Fangio's scheme. I think, year 2 with the defensive line coach. I think, look out for him. That's what I'm going to say. And the next player I'm going to talk about is Jordan Davis, our defensive tackle. He more likely will be starting before Ojomo, but Jordan Davis, as you already know, especially if you've been watching and paying attention over the seasons, he has gotten leaner and more in shape since he's gotten in the league. The first year, we already know that, he pretty much kind of tapped out towards the end of the season, which most rookies do, especially playing at that position. His second season, he got leaner, but, we already know after that one run against Buffalo Bills, I think he was running after Josh Allen, and he gave it all he got. And after that, you pretty much seen him get zeroed out and hadn't really seen from him no more that season. Last season, of course, we already know he played very, very, he played a lot better than he did the last 2 years before that. And also, he actually came with it, man. He came with it. He impressed me a lot, and it gave the Philadelphia Eagles front office something to think about as far as, what do we do with this guy? Make him a 5th-year option, or do we, trade him? What do we do with him from here on? Of course, they opted with the 5th-year option, and I think that was a great decision to make, because Jordan Davis is showing you that throughout the seasons that he's been with the Philadelphia Eagles, he's gotten better, and he's got more stronger and physical. And this year, barring injuries, like I always say, he is going to jump off the charts. He's always been a run stopper. So we already know that he's great at stopping the run. I think he's probably number 1, if not up there with the number 1 across the league as far as run stopping. I mean, his capability of doing that is definitely a really strong thing for the Philadelphia Eagles, because you already know years before, a couple of years ago, we couldn't really stop the run, and he was still one of the best run stoppers even then. We just couldn't stop the run. We couldn't stop the bleeding 2 years ago. But not going back to 2 years ago. We're going forward right now. Jordan Davis, watch out if you ain't watching already. He can be scary. I know a lot of the fan base is like, not so high on Jordan Davis. Some of them aren't. A lot of them are. Jordan Davis's ability to stop the run is bananas, like I said, man. But again, I think this season he's going to be leaning more to being all-purpose in terms of stopping the run and actually getting after the quarterback, sacking the quarterback, bringing him to the ground. He's gotten close a lot of times, and he got some sacks last season, as you already know. In the Super Bowl, he was one of the guys that was on Patrick Mahomes' bumper, pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was one of them ones that was getting after the quarterback as well last season. So I think it's going to be an uptick in that. I think that Jordan Davis is ready for the challenge, and he already knows that this is the year that he has a bag on the line. So he don't want to fumble the bag. Nobody want to fumble the bag. So you want to play your best football at least this season. Hopefully he'll stay with the Philadelphia Eagles. He might go elsewhere. Only time will tell. The play on the field would definitely make some of that matter one way or the other. But I'm having high hopes for Jordan Davis. As I should, you know what I'm saying? I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. He is a champion, you know what I'm saying? We are champions, you know what I mean? So why would I feel anything different based on what I've seen already and I know already about this player here? Next up, we're going to talk about Kelee Ringo, cornerback. So I have mixed feelings about this one. You already know that he's been getting cooked quite a bit in training camp by AJ, but I heard Marshall, I forgot his first name, was who's hurt now, I think. He even beat him, but I heard the guy's a pretty good player. So, pretty good players gonna make good plays. I mean, you can't look at that and say that he's not gonna be good enough to play at the position. However, I think we should have done and we should do is go after a veteran. Before now, I thought we should have went after a veteran cornerback after Slade's departure and after Isaiah Rodgers' departure. We didn't so far, so we still got chances. We still got a chance. I don't want the time to go by where somebody get injured from another team, a cornerback that is, and one of the cornerbacks is available, because there is like 3 good cornerbacks that's available, and if they go elsewhere, then we pretty much could be screwed if, Kelee Ringo is not the guy he's supposed to be. Adoree Jackson, I can't ask on too much of him because yes, I know he's a veteran, but I don't know whether to look at his situation playing for the Giants and I think Tennessee and to say that he's a bum. I mean, it was a bum team, and of course, I don't know his numbers really. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know his numbers with the Giants, you know what I'm saying, or Tennessee for that matter. I know he was pretty good in Tennessee, but the Giants, he didn't play all that. He played good at times, put it that way. He wasn't a bum. He wasn't nobody to get too excited about and nobody to get too down about as well once we realized that we had him on our team. But to say that he's it, and then let's say Ringo is not it, and then he get injured, Adoree Jackson being a starter or on the second, playing number 2. So he get injured, and then now Kelee Ringo got to come in there, and that's all you got pretty much. And Eli Ricks, I mean, you might be in some huge trouble. I don't want that to be the case for our squad, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking that we should have rather, already sought out another defensive back, at cornerback for us. I think that we should definitely keep that in consideration, not wait too long, but move early in the event that there is a chance that we can get a pretty good starter at number 2 corner. Then if Adoree Jackson got to go in, and it's not as bad as it is now. It's being that we only got 2 guys, and 1.5 guy who knows on the other half, and Eli Ricks. You know what I'm saying? So, oh man, that position really worries me. That's why I made that video weeks ago saying that if these 3 players can actually live up to what they can do, or we need them to do rather, then we're going to be good, because I think our defensive line is going to be shutting down stuff all the time. And I think our linebackers, I think those guys it's the best linebacking core that I think I ever saw in Philadelphia Eagles fandom history, for real. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, Smile Monday, I heard he can play. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about him here briefly as well, if I don't forget about it. So, but I just saw the video of him today, so that's what I want to talk about him. So yeah, if I have to take some pauses sometimes, you know what I'm saying, I'm grimacing in pain sometimes, you know what I'm saying, like my stomach's been acting real crazy. Like, I ain't gonna get too much into it. My stomach's been acting crazy though. and it's been like off and on for about a year. But back to the subject at hand. But I'm just letting y'all know if I have to stop it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the reason why, more often than not. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna need to see more from Kelee Ringo. I think he had a day that he redeemed himself, but he had already got cooked for like 2 of the 3 days, or 2 of the 4 days, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, yeah, you're not gonna lose all the time. I think you'll catch on a little bit. But we're gonna need a real viable number 2 at cornerback, along with Quinyon Mitchell. And I'm not opposed. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I'm not opposed really to putting, since Cooper DeJean want to play that position, to put him on a outside next to Quinyon Mitchell. I'm not opposed to that. Nor am I opposed, because I heard that Mac McWilliams, who I'll talk about in a second, I heard that Mac McWilliams is actually playing reps at the nickel, and I heard he's pretty good. That Vic Fangio don't know whether to put him at nickel or corner. So that right there tells me everything I need to know, and I'm not opposed to him either. I think the guy's pretty decent. I covered this video. If y'all don't know, check out one of my old videos of Mac McWilliams. Of course, he's a rookie. I can't say too much for him as far as how good he'll be. I can only hope and surmise that he'll be under this regime with Fangio pretty much top notch, because I think that's what will produce is top notch. If not, they got to go. Fangio, he keeps it 1,000%. You're gonna know where you stand with that guy right there. He's definitely a hard school. When I'm coaches that, I wouldn't say he's like the hardest of the hard. He does praise his guys sometimes, but for the most part, you don't really hear him getting overly praising of his players. So and that's good and bad sometimes, because when today's football and today's guys and kids, whatever, these guys want to hear that, they that nigga all the time. They want to hear that they that man all the time. You know what I'm saying? So you got to stroke the ego at the same time. You got to know when to pull back a little bit as well. You know what I mean? You don't want to do too much damage to them, because that could be bad as well, because they'll start, smelling their own piss, if you will, because I can't think of no other words. And then here we go. You know what I'm saying? Here we go with a mid player or somebody who could be better, but haven't really unlocked their top potential because they've been, spoon-fed praises all throughout their whole career, and some of it's warranted and maybe some of it's not. But again, Vic Fangio, he's gonna keep it all the way. He's gonna keep it all the way 1,000. You know what I'm saying? So I like that type of coach. At the same time, he want to give you the proper respect as well. So for closing up on Ringo, though, I will say this right here. I think Ringo, if he doesn't look good in the first preseason game, I think we gotta not cut him. I'm not gonna say cut him unless he's abysmal, but because he's a great special teams guy. But what I will say is, you gotta start really. I'm sure how he will. You gotta start moving in another direction if he's not. Because we trying to chase the chip, and the only way to chase the chip really, because defense win championships, like we always said. And Hurts did his thing, you know what I'm saying? But defense was on Patrick Mahomes' bumper the whole game, you know what I'm saying? Even the backups want to come and get some. But but yeah, give Ringo the proper reps, see what he's about, and if he's okay. Because like I said, getting burnt by AJ, getting beat by AJ doesn't tell me the whole story, because AJ does that to all the opposition. That's why they call him AO, always open. You know what I mean? And of course, the Marshall guy, that might have been a one-time thing, or perhaps even it could have been a situation where he's just that good. You know what I'm saying? He just can't stay. He can't stay on the field, because I heard the guy stay injured almost every year. So that's a Marshall dude. So if he can't stay injury free, you know what I'm saying? I would still, if he's that good, I still want him on my squad. He'll probably make the roster, given that we got the spots to give him. But because I think that when he is available, that he can give you some really good results on the field. So that's how we got to play it with him. That's how I would do it if we had the position. If we're in a position that we can actually, use this guy on the field, depending on what his injury is. I think his injury is a leg injury. I'm not sure exactly more or less what that is, but I heard that it's a leg injury. So if he can get, relatively healthy and get back on the field and actually show out like I heard he's been showing out, because I heard he's been turning heads. I'm finding his name. I'll probably put it on the screen here so y'all can see his name. Y'all know his name pretty much, but I ain't heard too much about him until about 3 weeks ago. So, guys flash sometimes in practice. So, regular flash in practice. So I don't put too much stock into that either. You know what I mean? But anyway, if you have to, try Mac Williams on the outside to see what he's about too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm open for everything that could actually benefit, but until I don't want to jump out and make a rash move, and I don't have to. So I think if we can do that, as far as finding, who's the guy, if we can go forward, that's great. If we can't, inside that is internally, we have to go outside and get another guy that can do it. So I'm gonna gloss over Cam Jurgens just for a little bit. I mean, his back being injured still concerning me a little bit because it happened, 5 or so months ago, and I'm sure he's gotten better since then. I'm sure he's rehabbing, and we have some pretty good doctors in the facility. So I'm hoping that his back won't be a problem. That'll be a nagging injury, moving forward, because it's a long season, as we already know, and we're gonna need our center to be at center. And that guy's he's a beast, man. I mean, you see it, y'all see it. I mean, Cam Jurgens, you didn't really miss Kelce that much last season after, Cam Jurgens came in. I mean, I don't know too many people who did say anything like, man, I wish we still had Kelce. And I love Kelce. I ain't gonna take nothing from Kelce. Like I said, you have a real Philadelphia Eagle, Kelce. So I ain't itching on you or nothing like that. What I am saying is Cam Jurgens, that is, has played pretty good football, pretty solid football for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I didn't expect nothing less of that happening in the first place. So, with being as though that his back injured a little bit, and he had to come in to play in the NFC Championship game, that was some real boss shit. You know what I'm saying? That was some real. I be trying to cut y'all, but that was some real boss stuff right there. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? He came in and with an injured back and played. I'm sure the opposition, try to get at him as much as possible. But he played a really solid game, and you already know that we won a Super Bowl with him as starter as well. So, like I said, I just don't want it to be a reoccurring issue after everything is fully rehabbed. And he might not be fully rehabbed by the end of the season as well. So he's going to probably get another off season to try to get that back, if he'll ever get it back. Because back injuries is something different, man. So, I don't want him to be old early, is what I'm saying, what I'm getting at and alluding to. So with that being said about him, I hope he gets 100% real soon. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually did, but at the same time, I understand that sometimes your back is one of those things that, so I'm hoping and praying that's not a situation for him. I know we got some really decent backups on the offensive line. So, and of course, Stoutland University. I seen him talk as well the other day. Man, I like to hear that guy talk, you know what I'm saying? Stoutland, he remind me of him and Fangio in their own way, though. Remind you of them old school coaches that you ain't did nothing. You ain't never did nothing. I don't care what you do, you ain't really did nothing. You know what I mean? So that's how he go about it, and their rooms respond to him very, very, very nicely. And that didn't happen for Fangio, of course, and Miami, but he ain't in Miami no more because he was some real guys who can accept coaching, and we not divas over here. We gonna accept coaching. Moving on over, man. I'm finishing up this video. Landon Dickerson and Jordan Mailata, I loved, and I was grateful. I don't know if that's the word I want to use, to see that these guys, even though they know that they just not too long ago had a ring ceremony, they are back at work. They ain't did nothing in their mind. Same with Jalen Hurts. We ain't did nothing. That was last season. Matter of fact, you can erase all that right now. If they want to, they can focus on all that after the smoke clears and after they retire from the Philadelphia Eagles and the NFL. And, they can bask in that type of glory if they wanted to at that point. But right now, it's football, and more football. So those guys are very focused. They're ultra focused. Like I said, talking about their leader and Stoutland, I wouldn't expect nothing extra. You know what I'm saying? These guys here, along with Lane Johnson, these guys play a lot of football, a lot of snaps with each other. They got very, very good cohesion with each other. So I'm looking forward to see what these guys do too. You know what I'm saying? We already know we got the best offensive line in the whole entire football league, in the world for that matter. But we, of course, like I said, staying focused and keeping the eye on the prize. That's an old season. This is a new season. Out with the old and with the new. That's the kind of stuff right there that win you multiple championships back to back. If you don't believe me, I'm sure you do though. Look at Kansas City. Look at the Patriots. And that's the reason why they got rid of some of the players they got rid of. If you know, you know. When you win, you got a desire to win more. You know, you definitely don't want to keep on to the same guys, and some of them might be looking like they ate enough and they fat enough after you get one championship, but we still hungry. We still need to get bigger, stronger, you know what I'm saying, get bolder. The Philadelphia Eagles is going to do some real good things. I think barring injuries this season, I think the division is ours to win. I think the Super Bowl, not getting too far, but I can do that because I don't play no snaps. But real talk, the Super Bowl definitely in our midst. Once again, we got to do our thing, man. And I'm here for it, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles is here for it overall. This is championship football talk. This is championship football, and you know the Philadelphia Eagles. What better team? What better squad? What better organization than this one right here? It's your host, Platinum Eagle. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I certainly appreciate y'all. I'm gonna come at y'all with some more content. Like I said, I've been dealing with, you know what I'm saying, some things, but we're gonna get it together. We're gonna go ahead and come at y'all the way it is. And it's gonna ramp up. You already know it's gonna ramp up. Unless you're really a football, you know what I'm saying, head like myself, nobody really wanna talk about football in, you know, in the off season. They only wanna really hear about it a lot of times, you know, at the regular season. And that's especially if you're doing good. If you're not doing so good, then people kind of like jump off and fall off or whatever. So, you know, that's where I'm at with it, man. But it's still my duty. It's still my duty and my honor to give y'all, you know what I'm saying, some Philadelphia Eagles talk as much as I can. Hope the video ain't too long. I just want to talk about it for a minute. It's Fly Eagles Fly, and it's 7:31. I love you, mommy. You know what it is.